Welcome to On the JoB with your host, LeAnn Parrish, editor of the Journal of Business. On the JoB is about the Inland Northwest business community, where you'll hear firsthand the backstories from the men and women reporters at the Journal of Business. On the JoB is brought to you in part by McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Here's Lynn.
Welcome to On the JoB with me, LeAnn Parrish, and LeAnn Bjerken today.
Hi.
How you doing, LeAnn?
Doing well.
Good. So let's dive right into it. LeAnn has started a new feature for the Journal called Restaurants and Retail. Just started with our redesign, and it's been actually pretty popular, kind of fun to do, right?
Yeah.
And so we thought we'd talk a little bit about that today, not the feature, but some of the things that are going on with restaurants and most, I guess today it's mostly restaurants for the
mostly.
And a little bit of retail information there. But let's start with Heritage Bar and Kitchen. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so Heritage Bar and Kitchen is the new restaurant that's coming to what most people probably remember as the Brooklyn Deli space for a long time there on South Monroe. But it was most recently a place called Texas True Barbecue. And I'm not positive on when they closed up, but the new owners, Gabe Wood and Alex King, are working in there right now to create more of a pub space that will kind of be a neighboring business to the brewery next door, which is Whistlepunk Brewing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So are they open yet, or?
They are not open yet. And I definitely should have written this down, but I think they're planning to open in May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
They're still doing a lot of renovations in there right now to get it, where they would like to be.
Yeah,
but,
right. And Brooklyn Deli had moved just right around the corner, if I remember correctly, to the kind of the corner of First and Monroe. Basically,
yes.
Where a place called Scout had been for a number of years. So nice seeing something going into that Brooklyn Deli space. Now, give us a sense for what kind of menu we're looking at with this new restaurant.
I believe that they sounded like it's mostly going to be like your American pub fare. Lots of stuff that you can share with other people, and I can't really think of an example right now.
I think everybody knows what we're talking about there. And so with Whistlepunk right there, they're basically next door neighbors, right? So
they kind of share an entrance there in that spot
kind
where
of the alley spot.
Along the alley there. So the new restaurant would kind of be working with Whistlepunk to make it a space where people feel comfortable, ordering food at the kitchen and maybe, going and visiting the brewery at the same time, that kind of thing. So they are very, very open to doing a co-space kind of relationship with Whistlepunk.
So take food into the brewery or take beer into the... Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Anything else about Heritage, or?
I can't think of anything right now.
We'll look for that to open in a few weeks, basically. So then the next, one of the other things you wrote about in the last Restaurants and Retail feature was Logan Tavern, and it was kind of funny because right after your piece came out, I was watching the GU game, and on their post-game where they went to a bar to see what the
they stopped into Logan Tavern.
Yeah, it was Logan Tavern. So it was kind of funny because I didn't know that the Old Bulldog was now the Logan Tavern. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that space is kind of interesting. It's had, a couple of evolutions over the last few years. Most recently, it was Scotty's Doghouse.
Sure.
I know my husband and I kind of live in the Logan area, so we've been familiar with Scotty's, and so it was nice to see that some new owners had picked up that space. And It sounds like they kind of want to make it into more of your cozy, again, kind of the pub style bar where it's just a nice place to go to have a quiet meal and a drink, maybe watch the games.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe not so quiet if there's a game going on. But that has a pretty rich history in the Gonzaga, the Logan neighborhood, but the Gonzaga area there, having housed it's the building that had housed the Bulldog Tavern for so many years before that. So, do you have any sense for how it's going to be different from the most recent restaurant there, the Scotty's Doghouse?
Well, I personally haven't stopped in yet, but when I spoke to one of the 4 co-owners, it sounded like they really just are kind of trying to get a feel for the neighborhood again and just make it a spot where people just really feel comfortable and just that whole cozy vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. Well, I think that's a pretty interesting development for Gonzaga fans. Let's see. So the last one we were going to talk about was Wheel Sport, and they have a different plan over there.
Yeah, so that was kind of an interesting project that we had heard about. So Wheel Sport is they're like a cycling shop where
Sure.
they sell bicycles and related accessories.
Yeah.
And so their owners had this idea that, you'll see other cities like, say, Portland or Seattle, that when you have a bike shop that has regular customers coming in, talking about different types of bikes and accessories and just the whole culture, that it's sometimes helpful to have a little spot where they can meet. So what Wheel Sport is doing is they're trying out a small cafe space in their South Grand location right now, just to kind of see, how that might work here in Spokane with a local bike shop doing a cafe space to allow their customers to kind of meet and mingle and talk about the sport of bike riding.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. And that makes a lot of sense. Cyclists hanging out in the cycle shop and maybe finding
and then, if
to
they're
keep them there.
riding by, there's snacks available and they're going to have some drinks too. So, just a nice stop in on your way to wherever you're going.
Now, refresh my memory, LeAnn. How many Wheel Sport stores are there in the Spokane area?
They have, I believe it's 3 locations right now, but they are looking to open a new location out on the Newport Highway this coming May.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right. Sure.
So they did say that, if all goes well with this new cafe space, they might consider adding it to all of their locations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that's an interesting mix. As just on the outside looking in, you wouldn't picture that being something that a bike shop would do, but once you think about it a little bit, it makes a lot of sense. Anything else on that one?
No.
Well, you got some fun stuff coming up with your next column too.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have to maybe come back and visit about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot,
All
LeAnn.
right,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
On the JoB is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. On the JoB is brought to you by our friends at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Ask Lynn a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com.